Hello, I'm Simon Christie.
And I'm Danny Sparks Cousins.
And viewers, welcome to the Drysdale River in the stunning Kimberley. Danny, we've got another awesome day planned. Where are we off to?
We sure do, Simon. We've had an early start, which is fantastic today. We've got a few kilometres to make. We'll be heading up towards the King Edward River crossing. We'll check out some Aboriginal art sites on the way. We'll cross the Mitchell Plateau and into Mitchell Falls tonight.
Stunning, Danny. Well, Danny, the convoy is ready to go. We need to get cracking, so I hope they're not going to leave us behind. Let's get into it.
YOUR4X4 is partnered by the Holden Colorado 7, Light Force Performance Lighting, Brown Davis Automotive, Kmart 4-wheel drive accessories, ARB 4x4 accessories, Piranha Off-Road products, Berrima Diesel, HEMA Maps and Cooper Tyres.
Do you do 60 every time?
No. Only when you've done bad things like overfueled it. Now, levers up to light, that's correct. Yes. This is going to go big wow, this is going to be exciting. I like
How many
this.
do you normally do, Al, if you haven't flooded it?
As many as until it feels, whoa.
Bit of back pressure.
Bit of back pressure. Now,
Right.
deploy flat-outedness.
Deploy flat-outedness.
Move back ever so slightly. That's starting to burn better already.
Yeah.
Burning better. Burning much better. I'd say that's almost about 78. That's just gone perfect.
Yeah.
So, deploy the lid. You're done then?
Thank you so much.
That's a pleasure.
G'day, I'm Rod from Kmart.
And I'm Matt Frost from ARB.
Matt, we finally made it up to Mitchell Falls after leaving Drysdale River Homestead, our camp for last night.
The road was certainly harsh. I mean, I believe it can get a lot rougher and it hasn't been graded for a while, but it was interesting to see the very different speeds that people were sitting on. I mean, I think the very noticeable difference with the vehicles that we're using on this trip is they're very well set up. They've all got very good tyres that are running very good pressures for this sort of terrain. I think every single vehicle on the trip's running a high-end aftermarket suspension. And the difference was that, you know, there was people crawling along on some of these roads at sort of 50, 60 kilometres an hour, and you could see that the cars were shaking to pieces where we were just gliding along about 100.
Right. Now it pays in these conditions to be carrying two radios. We've got one mounted inside the car for car-to-car conversations. We've also got handhelds. Now the handhelds help us when we're outside the vehicle, especially setting up shots for the camera guys.
Without communications, how many cars would be off the side of the road by now?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
it'd be horrific, mate.
Exactly. I mean, we've had good communication between the whole convoy at times, and it's very, very handy, especially oncoming traffic.
Yep.
We've had a couple of instances with people taking corners towards us a little bit too fast.
Yep.
We've been able to slow down and make sure that they're you know, not going to cause an accident.
Yes, yes.
That's the biggest thing.
And over a long convoy like ours,
Yes.
having somebody in the middle to relay messages from front to back. Where we are now is King Edward River. We've just done a fantastic river crossing of this same river further back down. You know, it's been a great run up here, and it's been part of that majesty of the Kimberleys, isn't it, really, Andrew? This is just awesome.
And this is why I love the Kimberley so much, Rod. You've got all of the wonders of the outback, the great long distance outback roads, nice warm days, the dust. It's just sensational, the fact that there's just so much water around.
Absolutely, especially after the dust and the corrugations after leaving Drysdale, stretching the cars out so far just to get a clear vision of the road.
The entry this week comes from Jared Taylor, who's written, "I love my 4x4 because I built it from scratch and it's our weekend getaway vehicle."
Thanks, and for sending in that email, you've won yourself a HEMA Kimberley Atlas and Guide and a Piranha Premium Fluoro. All entries go into the series prize pack of a Brown Davis long-range fuel tank, a pair of Light Force Venom 50-watt HID driving lights, and an RFI UHF antenna pack plus stubby holder cap and water bottle. Plus, all viewers have a chance of winning a set of Cooper tyres valued at up to $1,800. Visit the YOUR4x4 website and follow the links to enter.
ARB, Australia's largest manufacturer and distributor of 4x4 accessories, has everything you need for your next off-road adventure. From bull bars and suspension to recovery gear and lights, we've got four-wheel drives of all shapes and sizes covered. Whether you're heading off to bitumen for a weekend getaway or preparing for that epic round Australia trip, enjoy a safer, more comfortable journey with ARB. To order a copy of our free catalogue, visit our website or give us a call.
Got a tough 4x4 tourer and enjoy hitting the tracks? Odds are you'll need some serious underguard protection and a heavy-duty long-range tank. Brown Davis Automotive offer aluminised steel underguard protection plates and long-range tanks for most popular makes and models. They're designed and developed right here in Australia and have been tested to the extreme right across this great country. Remember Brown Davis Automotive. It's a trusted and family-owned Aussie business and proud manufacturers of high-end tanks, underguards and more. Now, who doesn't want more power? And I bet that most of you with diesels have your hands in the air. DP Chip is not a snack food, it's the real deal, and simply modifies the engine's fuel injection parameters to increase performance to a measurable difference of up to 35% more power and torque and up to 10% better economy. DP Chip, the only diesel power chip with a 5-year warranty, 24/7 tech support and user adjustability. For more information on DP Chip Diesel Power, call 02 4877 1022 or visit dpchip.com.
G'day, Alan Johnson here from Piranha in the Kimberleys. What a spot.
Fantastic, isn't it? Andrew from DP Chip. Couldn't ask for a better place today, Alan, could we?
Brilliant. Well, we left the roadhouse this morning, Barnett Station, 100 odd Ks up the Gibb River Road.
Yeah.
Sounds like not very much distance, but it kind of is, isn't it?
It does, takes the time, and talk about probably I reckon every 10-15 minutes, so it wasn't very boring because it was just a changing scenery the whole time, wasn't it?
We were able to sit at about 100k the whole way up from Drysdale River Station up the Columbaroo Road as far as the campsite at Wallamurra, which was another nice swing spot that we made use of at lunchtime.
Come in here to have lunch and we found a magic spot to stop. Temperature's what? 30s?
I think probably, yeah, maybe in the sun, isn't it? As soon as you get in the shade, it cools off.
I can feel it.
Yeah, even the water, it's actually quite cool, but here on the rocks, got a little bit of solar activity happening. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I can see people up there. Yeah.
We've just had a beautiful swim.
Yep.
Lovely lunch spot. Couldn't ask for anything
we are still swimming.
We are.
Fantastic, fantastic.
We turned left onto a road that was actually marked as a four-wheel drive track into Mitchell Falls. Having said that, that track again was quite a good run, but you certainly had to have your wits about you with lots of washouts and large rocks in the road as well.
A lot more rock involved in that one, and it does state it's not a maintained road, but still had quite good sections on it. Pick your speed and drive it to suit your car.
Look guys, this sort of country is just magnificent. You're not out here to rush it through, but the point about the speed thing is some people think travelling at 20 kilometres an hour is a really good idea. Well, it just isn't. 20 kilometres is probably one of the worst speeds to travel at. When you get a bit quicker, you get up sort of on top of that. And we were talking about this at lunchtime before. Yeah. It's almost like a plane taking off, or a boat getting up on the plane.
Yep.
You get to a speed where it kind of just works, doesn't it?
Yeah, correct. And to get up there, you have got to push through a little bit.
You've got to push through.
You feel like you're getting stuck in the ruts, but
yes.
all of a sudden you're up on that speed and gliding over the top.
Actually works.
Once we turned off and got nearer to the Mitchell's camp area, there is a designated area where you are allowed to pick up firewood. And a great bonus to us was that Al had his chainsaw with him, so that made the job quite easy.
Now, if I hadn't brought a chainsaw, all the firewood that we had out there was so damn big you couldn't even get onto the roof of a car. We're talking dead trees.
Cut up quite a few logs and loaded them onto roof racks.
So when we're camping in the national parks and some of the campgrounds, it's important to know where and when you collect your firewood. Some of the places have firewood supplied to stop the spread of disease, but where we're camping tonight at Mitchell Falls, there's a designated firewood area that we need to collect our firewood and bring it into camp.
Until Alan's been out there.
Most of us got here successfully with their load, but someone didn't, Matt.
No, and I guess it's a very valuable lesson that I should have known, Rod. I mean, unfortunately, I'm one of the cars that has a decent pack rack on the roof of the car, so I ended up with most of the heavy pieces on the roof of the Hilux. We were only a few kilometres from our campsite. I actually slowed right down, even with the wood on the roof. My son was actually complaining as to why I was driving so slowly. Anyway, we came around a bend and there was a bit of wildlife crossing the road, so I had to come to a fairly quick stop on the road, and one of the logs basically came through and put a nice big bullseye in the base of the windscreen. So I was quite lucky it wasn't further up. I mean, it's made a bit of a mess of the windscreen, but we'll tape the bottom up and then we'll put some adhesive into some of the worst cracks, and it should be fine.
This week's question comes from Craig Jerry, and Craig wants to know what oil is best for modern common rail diesels and how often should it be changed? Well, Craig, that's a pretty good question. Let's check in with our diesel expert, Andrew Limeroth.
That's a common question, Craig. But I use a bit of an analogy for starters when you're cleaning a big floor area and it's pretty dirty, and as you're mopping it, the mopping water gets dirtier and dirtier and dirtier, and by the time you're finished, well, the floor's clean, but that last bit of it's pretty gunky. In fact, if you gave it a flush, put new water back in the tub and started a bit further, you'd clean it absolutely spotless. So firstly, regular oil changes. I'm still an old stippler to the old 5,000 for oil and oil and filter at 10. Sure, the manufacturers say oil and filter just at 10 nowadays, and some of them say even 15 and 20. Well, I guess it's only got to go through the warranty, and it'll probably last 50 to 100,000 even out of warranty. But I don't think it's a good long-term thing. So you start the preventative maintenance first with regular oil changes. Sure, on a long trip like we've been doing, particularly the Kimberley trip, I left with a freshly serviced vehicle, and I think I'll get back with about probably 12 or 13,000 Ks on it. I won't change the oil, I won't do anything while I'm gone. It's a late model vehicle, and by the time I get back, I've actually done this trip in about 4 or 5 weeks. So really everything's still pretty fresh. So in those instances, no need for going overboard. Now, in relation to what oil should you use, it's pretty much sometimes up to debate. Yes, you should be using specific oils in specific vehicles. Our Nissan Patrol 3 litre, for example, stipulates in there, I think it's a 5W30. When you start to dissect the owner's manual, it actually says if that's not available, refer to the normal oil chart. And if you look at our climate, even down to those southern snowy mountain regions, we don't get to -40. So you can still get away with those sort of 1540s even in the latest common rail diesels. Certainly stick to the one that's recommended, but again, if it's not available, don't panic. We are in a warm climate here, and I think it still comes back to good regular oil changes and good regular oil and filter changes.
Well, thanks for that question. You've won yourself a DP Chip Chippy Doll, cap, stickers, pen, keyring and stubby holder, plus a pair of ARB Outback Survival socks, an ARB toaster and ARB cooler bag. All entries also go into the series draw for an ARB twin motor compressor, a Kmart $1,500 voucher for Osbar or Kmart, and a Projector 600 watt Pure Sine Pro Wave inverter. Plus everyone has a chance of winning up to $1,800 worth of Cooper tyres. Follow the links on the YOUR4X4 website for full details.
Who has a range of SUVs that you can grow with?
When we were younger, we thought everyone was on our side. Then we grew a little and romanticized the time I saw flowers in your hair. 'Cause it takes a boy to live, it takes a man to pretend he was there.
Think SUV. Think Holden.
Sometimes the front runners lead from behind, and when it comes to protecting your rear, Kmart are world leaders in rear end protection and tow bar combinations. The just released Prado 150 is no exception, with a bar that is designed to follow the car's lines and work with your sensors and factory camera. For the best in rear end protection, trust Kmart. It's a statement, not just an accessory, for the toughest of 4x4 trips. For more info, go to kmart.com.au.
Warning, beware of imitation lights. Only Light Force Performance Lighting guarantees Australian made, no leaking or melting, quality output and 3-year warranty. Unlike their imitators, Lightforce lights feature peerless construction, leak-proof seals, impact-proof lenses and filters, vibration and fracture-resistant mounts and housing, and stainless steel fittings, outshining and outlasting their impersonators in every way. Often imitated, never replicated. Visit lightforce.com for the full range of authentic Lightforce lights.
30-second kitchen, a kitchen in 30 seconds. Fridge slide first. Fridge slide's got 130 kilo tracks in it, so it's nice and tough. Remove the R-clip, don't lose it. Drop the pin, leg locker, kitchen out. Lock kitchen down here, retrieve the R-clip, lock on here, R-clip in. Leg here, pull them together, stove, billy. How good's that, guys? Couldn't ask for quicker.
These are places you can't take the family Commodore.
No.
You need a proper four-wheel drive.
You do indeed.
You need preparation, tyres, suspension,
yeah,
and camping equipment's another big thing too.
Exactly right.
Very, very rough in a few spots. A lot of people won't take their campers or their caravans there because really they fall to pieces.
Exactly.
They do.
I think I can remember not far out of El Cuestro we did have a Commodore pass us.
Yes.
I don't think we would have had a Commodore getting up where we went.
No, that's right.
That's the thing.
Right.
It is very, very remote.
Yes.
And I think there was actually even warnings at Drysdale about leaving, I think it was on the HEMA maps maybe, leave your caravan there before even travelling any further because of the chance of risk of damage and I guess it upsets everybody.
Well, here we are at the camping area for the Mitchell River National Park. Now, it is an honesty system, so make sure you put your money in, do the right thing, because these signs, the information here, the campgrounds are maintained by the fees that we pay. It's a small fee to pay for a beautiful camping area. Follow us in, we'll check out the campsite.
I guess the other thing too, you think about it too, the speeds that you can travel at, I mean, you can actually travel reasonably quickly, but you can't travel really fast because, again, we were talking about this before, if you have an accident up there, you're in a very remote spot. I'm sure the RACV or whatever it is, the NRMA, not going to come up and rescue up here.
No.
You're going to be pretty much on your own.
Well, that's what they said. It's a not a gazetted road, so if you do happen to break down, Ultra Care's not
You're
going to
on your
help
own.
you.
Yes.
That's right.
And also the amount of dead carcasses of tyres on the road, it gives you some indication as to what's been going on.
There is, isn't there?
I was here 8 years ago, and as I said, nothing's virtually changed. Well, actually, it has. One thing, the campsite, when we went there 8 years ago, there was none of those little concrete things to put your fires in.
Yeah.
So that's about the only thing that's changed.
I mean, it's quite well organised, isn't it? When you look at the campsite.
Well, if you talk about a campsite, it is actually better than I expected. I mean, you've got proper toilets.
Yep.
You've got a ranger who comes around who's really helpful and friendly.
Well, I know he was cleaning them 3 times a day. So they were, well kept. Very well kept.
For as remote as it is, isn't it? I mean, it's very well organised, and I guess those guys when they're living out there take it as their own, Nelly. Isn't it? That's their home.
There are people who bring trailers. There are people who bring tents and sleeping bags and swags. What are you using?
I'm actually just in swags. We've got an awning off the side of the car, 2 swags on the ground. Finding that quite comfortable. Each person to their own on how they want to carry. How comfortable they want to be.
Yes.
Is the biggest thing. They don't give you any privacy to change. So
No,
we've
that's the other
frightened a
thing.
few of the ladies a couple of times when we've changed, but
well, hey, such is life.
Unfortunately, that's the way it goes in the bush.
So anyway, we're into camp now. Most of us are well and truly set up, and a few of us have come down to cool off. And here we are in a little creek, cooling off.
Every single day so far, we finish the day off with a swim. It's just sensational, the fact that there's just so much water around. It really, really is a great way to end the day, each day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. All that.
Where is this? Don't walk off without saying you go.
Yeah, it's real classic Kimberley country. I think, as I say, we're all cooled down and refreshed, and tonight we'll be having some dinner and then getting into the helicopters tomorrow and off to Mitchell Falls.
Our first entry for the week is this tidy looking Colorado, shown here on a family camping trip. Next is this well set up FJ Cruiser, on the way to the tip via the old telegraph track. Now this Nissan Navara sure looks like a fun ride. This photo was taken at Saunders Gorge in South Australia. Here's a nicely decked out JK Wrangler. It has a massive list of mods and loves heading to the local four-wheel drive parks. Our last entry is this tidy Navara, all set up for a fishing trip at Pottsville in New South Wales.
If you're the first to see your photo and email Danny at your4x4.com.au, then you've won yourself a Light Force tack torch and stubby holder and a Brown Davis ute tub seal kit. All photo entries go into the series draw of a DP Chip plug and go pedal chip, a HEMA HN7 GPS navigator and a Travel Buddy oven for hot food on the go. Plus there's a chance to win a set of Cooper tyres. Check the Your4x4 website for details. Well viewers, unfortunately the end of another episode of Your 4x4, but remember next week our Kimberley adventure continues. Now Danny, a bit of a hard drive in today?
It was a pretty slow, long drive in today, but we've got tomorrow off, so it should be good.
Well Danny, it's not exactly off, is it? You've planned a fantastic day for us tomorrow.
We have a big day tomorrow. Most of the group are going for a flight down to the falls. There's a lot to see on the way there and the way back. It's going to be great.
Now, Danny, is there a seat on the chopper for me?
No, sorry, Simon.
Looks like I'll be hiking it in and hiking it out then.
You will.
All right, it'll be well worth it though, so viewers, tune in next week when we've got the Mitchell Falls, an exciting episode, plenty to see, fantastic scenery. Well, I'm Simon Christie.
I'm Danny Sparks Cousins.
We'll see you all next week. Thanks for tuning in.